Hello and welcome back to another Cupid Parasite. First kiss, new love.
許さない。
There, maybe I'll be able to hear something if I actually turn on my headphones. I'm like, I can't hear anything. So we left off with Peter getting hit by a Cupid arrow and falling in love with Cupid. Well, let's go from there, I guess. Also, I couldn't hear who said this. I heard it yesterday when I ended, but it didn't sound like anyone that I recognized. It didn't sound like Claire's, for sure. I think it's a girl. I want to forgive you. Who is it? Tell us. Of course, it's not going to tell us. After that, regardless of whether we were at our internship or not, spending time with Peter was enjoyable anytime, every day.
Lynette, 私にもできたぞ。
He's like, look at me, I did a good job.
リネット、お昼ご飯を食べに行こう。リネット、コーヒーを買ってきた。スターバッカスのホワイトモカだぞ。
Wait, did he say white mocha? That's what I drink. Anyway. She or Peter always managed to find an excuse to visit my desk.
彼、前にも増してあなたにべったりね。もしかしてピーター君と付き合うことにしたの？
Well, yes. I'm sorry. I told him not to come when I'm working.
まあいいじゃない。彼、あなたの言うことならよく聞くし、失敗も減ってきたし。
Hey, whatever makes him work harder, right?
ピーター君、ちょっといい？
なんだ。
I'm sorry. That was cute.
ああ、世界が破滅する。
He's still not good with women, only Lynette. But if someone else calls on him, he's like, no, I gotta go.
いや、ファイルが落ちただけよ。
まあ、女子社員に話しかけられたり、物が落ちたりするだけでビビる過敏パラサイトは治らないけどね。
ミラーさん以外の女子社員とも相変わらず全然喋れないし。あれじゃあパラサイト5入り決定ね。
Parasite 5.
ああ、うちの厄介会員たちの名前よ。うちにはアドバイザー全員がお手上げになって担当なしになった会員が5人いるの。この前ピーター君のことを過敏パラサイトって名付けてから彼らのことを思い出したのよ。こっちにも使えるってね。
The advisors then gave me the rundown on the Parasite 5 and all of their exploits. The lovelorn parasite, a member who just can't seem to get over a past love. The prestige parasite, a member who's obsessed with maintaining his social status and has deflected a surrogate to help him find a partner. The obsessed parasite, a member who just can't help himself from talking about mythology, making basic conversation impossible. The glamour parasite who just judges people solely on their appearance and thus shuns anyone who is inferior in his eyes. The thieving parasite, a member who seems to prefer women already in relationships, thereby upsetting our client base on a regular basis.
それにビビりすぎて女子とろくに会話が成立しないピーター・フラージュ君、過敏パラサイト。ま、彼はうちの会員じゃないけどパラサイトの元ネタだし、なんかいい感じにハマるじゃない？噂話するときはもってこいなの。
I see. I never knew there were such troublesome members. What kind of people are they? Well, I have a chance to meet them since there are members. You already met all of them.
なに？パラサイト5が気になる？
Yes, I'm curious what kind of matches they'd have.
あなたもすっかりアドバイザーの顔ね。最近は新規会員様の受付もバッチリこなせるし、そろそろお客様の担当についてみる？
Really?
もちろんよ。私が頼みたいぐらい。と言ってもパラサイト5以外のお客様よ。いきなりあれは荷が重すぎるもの。
They're that troublesome.
そろそろセミナーの時間ね。 つい話し込んじゃったわ。セミナールームの準備お願いね。
Oh yes, let's go, Peter.
準備しているぞ。
Peter showed up holding a file full of confidence. Great to see Peter getting used to working as an intern. It's wonderful. I was worried on the first day, but it seems like he's doing just fine. Peter Chi, in other words, a divine beast posing as an intern. Lord Jupiter himself would be surprised. I thought to myself as we entered the suite, what is she going to find out? When Peter and I entered the seminar room, there was Mr. Harriet, the president's secretary. Oh, Mr. Harriet.
ああ、どうも、こんにちは。
What are you doing here? We're here to help out with the marriage seminar.
ああ、いえ、別にそのセミナーに参加するわけでは。
Are you sure? You look like you're blushing.
そうなのか？ノートとペンを持っているようだが。
It's funny.
いえ、別に私は恋愛なんて。
He's so cute. Speaking of which, were you able to ask that lady out on a date?
え、この間の彼女とは？
The lady you spoke with at the matchmaking party, her name was Melanie, I think. I thought you two had great chemistry.
え、相性良さそうでしたか？
Maybe that's why he's here, to take notes for that. Yes, plenty. I'm sure she'd say yes if you asked her out on a date.
そうか。そう見えましたか。
He's so cute. I wish he would have been the secret route, honestly. Mr. Harriet looked relieved and seemed to calm down. Or at least Jupiter. Jupiter's fine for a secret route. I wish he was as Jupiter, though, not as Peter. I'm gonna take her like to the very end to realize he's Jupiter, which is gonna be anticlimactic for me, but whatever. Fine.
ありがとうございます。おかげで勇気が出ました。デートに誘ってみることにします。
Good luck. I'll be cheering for you.
はい。
With that, Mr. Harriet happily departed the room. And we saw him off, and I began preparing for the seminar with Peter.
二人の相性が見えたのか？
Yep. But when I tried firing off the arrow, you appeared from out of nowhere. Uh-oh.
ああ、そうか。あの時だったのか。
Because Jupiter was the one that said you shouldn't do that and relayed the message to Mars.
そういえばあの時言いそびれていたが、ジュピターはキューピッドの矢を使わないようにと言っていたはずだが。
You've been called out. Oh. He was right. Dad told me as much when I first came to the human realm. Can you keep it a secret from Lord Jupiter?
それは構わないが、使ったのはこの間の一度だけか？
Nope. I once used the leaden arrow before that. There was a couple who were having a fierce fight, so...
鉛の矢。それで力の減りがなかったのか。これは早急に調べなければ。
That's not suspicious at all. Decline of power? What are you talking about?
いや、こちらの話だ。それより、キューピッドの矢はもう二度と使わない方がいい。
You can't hear Jupiter's voice at all as he talks. Come on. Huh? His face stiffened to my reaction. Does it have to do with the human realm? I mean, I've used it just fine in Celestia.
お前のためだ。
His voice was stern.
頼む。使わないと。約束してくれ。
Since he seemed to be begging me, I was puzzled but nodded. I understand. I won't use it.
ああ、約束だ。
He touched my shoulder, then grabbed me close. Oh my goodness. Then he let go and departed from the suite. That was awkward. Oh, Peter. He's gone. Come on, the seminar's supposed to start. He just can't help himself. At least he can be himself sometimes. He's not always bright eyes and bushy-tailed around you, which is good. That was going to drive me nuts. He's acting as freely as he did as Chi. But why the warning? I really can't use my arrow for my sake. And what was that about my power declining? I don't know, but Peter or Chi is Lord Jupiter's divine beast. I'm sure he knows more about the die constitution than I do. I wish that he was clearer about the matter, but the graveness of his voice was enough to persuade me. In any case, the seminar was to begin soon, so I quickly returned to my preparations. At last the seminar began. To my kind audience, thank you for attending today's seminar. My name is Lynette. I will be your speaker. Microphone in hand, I began my speech, keeping in step with what I learned. There were members as far as I could see. I tried my best to keep my composure from stage fright. Today we have a special guest lecturer on romantic psychology. Miss Tyner, please come on up.
恋愛レッスンはテイナーにお任せ。皆さん、今日講師を務めさせていただくテイナーです。よろしくね。
Miss Tyner is our resident romance expert who has published many self-help books on the subject. We'll be covering all sorts of topics such as getting to know your crush, thoughts through the lens of psychology.
あら、ブライダルアドバイザーさん、素敵なご紹介ありがとう。
Miss Advisor? I had to suppress a grin from the sheer joy of hearing her call me that. After biting my tongue, I left the rest of the lecture to Miss Tyner and went to the back of the room.
このように愛は親密性、情熱、コミットメントの3つの要素から成り立っているという考えもあり、また恋愛を6つの色彩に分類するという恋愛色彩理論と呼ばれる考えもあり、図のように分類できるという。
Oh, I remember learning about this. Even as a host, I had much to glean from the lecture. It really takes me back. I remember Clara's referring to her love type as Ludus.
ああ、私は友愛しか持たないよう作られていたからな。
Suddenly, what Peter said came back to me. Paternal love is a sort of cognitive. He's one of Lord Jupiter's subjects, right? Are divine beasts allowed to fall in love? How sad, I thought. To be unaware of love or affection, all gods had a right to find love.
では早速皆さんも診断してみましょう。アドバイザーさん、このペーパーを配ってくださる？
Oh, yes. My thought bubble was popped and I returned to the task at hand. Quite the eventful first day as an advisor. When I returned to my desk, I found Peter in his chi form after having successfully dodged his responsibilities for the day. Of course. How convenient that your other form is invisible. The next day, Peter and I both had the day off, so we scheduled a movie date based on a recommendation from one of the other advisors. Considering Peter's nature, a thriller probably wasn't the best idea, so he picked something other than Parasite. And no, he would jump at everything.
おお、これが映画館か。
He looks so weird in like normal attire. Wait, didn't you come with me to one in your chi form?
ないな。未知の場所は恐ろしく、ベッドに埋まっていた。
I was hiding under the bed. He even admitted that. That's funny. Yeah, I guess. I remember Chi wasn't with me when I went to the movie theater with Gil and Claris. Then you will be surprised. Movies are so wonderful. They take place in many different worlds and... Oh, how about we have some popcorn? Which flavor do you want? They have more than one flavor? I looked up at Peter, pointing my finger at the signboard of the stand. He looked puzzled.
ポップコーンとはバイトとやらがあった日によく持って帰ってきていた石ころのことか？
So called.
石ころが美味しいとはずっと変だと思っていたのだ。 人間は神よりも顎の力が発達しているのだな。
Stronger chewers because he thinks they're rocks. What the heck? I couldn't help but laugh at how seriously he took everything. It was refreshing to see someone just as clueless about the human realm as me. Maybe this is how Gil and Clara saw me when we first met. They aren't pebbles, they're roasted corn kernels. They're addicting, I swear. Well, yeah, he's tried them. Since there were so many options, would you mind if I went ahead and chose?
任せる。
I showed Peter where to line up and make his purchase. With our popcorn and sodas in hand, we made our way to our seat. And it wasn't long before Peter started fidgeting in his seat. He kept darting his eyes around the theater, stuffing handfuls of popcorn in his mouth.
しかしこのポップコーンとやらはやけにうまいな。全く石ころの味はしないぞ。
Okay, I guess he didn't try her popcorn. He just by the way that she likes it, he's like, how can pebbles be good and edible? Glad to hear that. That's the honey flavor, sweet and savory, right? Want some soda?
おお、これも美味しいな。はあ、人の食べ物はやはり素晴らしい。
What kind of dinner do you make, Chi? I don't know. But now that he's like in human form, he's gonna start being more and more hungry, right? Because he's adapting the human life.
このような、進化を遂げるとは、さすがの私も思わなかったな。
Oh my gosh, that was adorable. Hold on, I want to hear that again. That was really cute.
おお、これも美味しいな。このような、進化を遂げるとは、さすがの私も思わなかったな。
I'm sorry, that was really funny. He's so cute. Peter stuffed his cheeks with popcorn like a chipmunk. Come on, you don't have to eat them all at once. The movie's starting. The theater's lights dimmed and a logo appeared on the screen. I can't stop grinning. My face is like really hot. I'm not blushing or anything, but it's just, I don't know. It's maybe because I was just laughing so hard, I don't know. At first, Peter's eyes widened with excitement, but as it turns out, this was a romance film, an intense one at that. Oh my goodness.
Oh, Michael! Yes! Oh, yes!
What are you guys watching? Whoa, they're really going for it. The couple in the movie kissed so passionately that watching it with someone else was awkward. Poor Jupiter. I glanced over at Peter, noticing he was frozen and blushing. I chose this movie because it was trending, but I suspected I'd made a mistake. Yeah, right? Maybe Parasite would have been better. I know, I came and watched those kinds of films with my husband. But then I ran the risk of sending the sensitive Parasite running from the theater. We both shifted uncomfortably in our seats together, careful to avoid making eye contact. It felt like the longest movie I had ever watched. I feel sorry for them. That would have been so awkward. Is he going to be embarrassed all day? After the movie ended, we took a stroll to Lost York Park. You okay, Peter?
まあ、そうだな。その平気だ。ただ映画が私が予想していたものとはまるで違ってな。
Oh, no, not all movies are like that. I think I should have read the reviews first. At this rate, Peter would never watch another movie with me again. Say, why don't we rent the next one? I know the perfect one that's totally different from what we watched today.
そうか。ならばそうするとしよう。それがいい。きっとその方がいいはずだ。
The two of us stopped by a video store and rented a slew of comedy movies to bring home. But after the first one finished, Peter suddenly took me into his arms.
は
Are you tired? He seemed to have taken my scent and let out a heavy sigh. Hey, is something wrong? I tore my attention away from the end credits and looked into Peter's eyes. He was blushing and slowly shook his head.
自分でもよくわからぬ。ただ、お前をこうして抱きしめたくて。
It's the Cupid arrow.
はあ、やはりお前の香りは落ち着くな。
Could it have something to do with the movie we watched? It wasn't just a comedy, but a romantic comedy, a roller coaster of a musical. Since the story was focused on a couple in love, was he feeling sentimental? Come on, I can't breathe if you hold me that tightly. I patted his back lightly. Peter then lifted his head and stroked my cheek.
なあ、キューピッド。
Okay, before we go any further, he's depicted as taking a bunch of wives. So he tore up, that page that she read in the book. And he even said in another route that he's never once laid a finger on Juno, which was his wife, I think. Or maybe it was someone else that someone thought was his wife. I don't know. So he has no experience with women, but he has been shot with a Cupid arrow and is madly in love with her. Even though he is in love, wouldn't his no experience in women be making him a little bit nervous? But he doesn't act nervous around her at all. He's very touchy-feely with her. I'm getting conflicting emotions with him. He's one thing, but now he's another thing because he's been shot with the arrows. I don't know. I turned my head at him, referring to me by my real name. After a bit of mumbling, he inhaled deeply and spoke.
キスをしていいか。
What? Kiss? Is that what couples do? Wait, you don't know this? You've been in the human realm how long? Is that what you want, Peter?
無論だ。正直したくてたまらない。だが、お前が嫌だと言うなら。
There was a hint of struggle in his voice, as if he had been dying to ask me all night. But I could relate, so I nodded with a smile. You can relate, huh? Sure thing.
そうだよな。やはり嫌じゃない。しかしキューピッド、それは。
I'm curious about it myself. All those couples in the movie seem so natural at it. Plus it's weird for Cupid to not know what kissing's like. As far as first kisses went, I could do a lot worse than Peter. He wouldn't go out of his way to hurt me, and he's from Celestia too. Peter timidly placed his hands on my shoulders. And we locked lips, moving slowly at first with tiny pecks. Oh. Our lips just barely touched, but something changed in that moment. The soft tenderness of his lips made my heart race. So this was a kiss, the universal gesture for love.
リネット、もう一度いいか。
He seemed almost delirious. Suddenly Peter tightened his grip around my shoulders. He started to lean in closer, causing me to lose balance and fall back into the sofa. Of course he did. Oh my goodness.
リネット。
Oh. He didn't wait for my answer this time. Peter sweetly pressed his lips harder against mine and my body went numb. He took hold of me like intoxication. Peter kissed me with fervor, nearly devouring my lips out of desperation. I don't like all the sound effects. He changed the angle by tilting his head and grabbed my wrist. Now he was pressing into me. I could hardly move. He was like a lion who had conquered its prey. It occurred to me that she often behaved like a carnivore with fangs and horns to boot.
リネット。リネット。
Peter didn't seem to let his lack of technique stop him from expressing the fullness of his desire. His eyes burned with a delicate flame. I soon found myself intimidated by the way his cheeks filled feverishly with color. Something wasn't right. Hey, Peter, calm down.
私は十分落ち着いている。
Goodness. He whispered with panted breath, then touched my throat with the tip of his tongue. His fang-like teeth were pressed against my neck like he was ready to bite. I turned my neck and Peter bit into me. Not hard enough to break the skin, more of a playful nibble. That tickles.
なんだこの気持ちは。
I know, what's wrong with you, Jupiter? Get a hold of yourself. But his confusion did not deter his impulses. He dug his nails into my shoulder, seemingly overwhelmed by the occasion.
どうすれば。
I saw in Peter's eyes the same kind of eagerness that would befit a starving predator. I had never seen that look before. He was clearly aroused, but unable to locate how or why he felt this way. His gaze was sharp and our passionate kiss intensified. If we kept going, I fear it would open a door in my heart that couldn't be closed again. This isn't good. I can't go that way. I won't come back. No, please. I finally pushed against his chest and he backed away as if he regained his senses. Well, at least he was conscious enough to be persuaded to stop.
すまない。夢中になりすぎて。
I think most men in the other rooms would have stopped. I don't think you would be able to convince him. Peter hurriedly got to his feet. As he fixed his eyes on my own, I saw a mixture of derangement and pleasure give way to bewilderment.
すまない。その口づけをしたのは今回が初めてで歯止めが効かなくなった。
Well, he's a divine beast after all. No, he's not. Divine beasts are made to work for gods. Peter had probably never had a proper conversation with people. Of course, I thought. Suddenly, I was curious about his real age. Speaking of which, Peter, or Chi, you've been with Lord Jupiter a while, haven't you?
それはまあそうだが。
Then are you aware of the history of love affairs?
恋愛遍歴。
Wait, his history? His history. She wants to talk about it. There are many myths surrounding Lord Jupiter, like how he turned into a swan to sneak into a woman's room, or when he appeared as rain.
あれは誤解だ。
Oh, really?
主審ともあろうものがあんなみだ。そんなことするわけないだろう。だいたい女性が苦手だというのに。
First of all, I'm no good with women. He just said I. I'm not talking about you, Peter. I'm talking about Lord Jupiter.
分かっている。だがその主審ジュピターも女性が苦手なんだ。
Oh, come on. Please just tell her already. But really. Perhaps divine beasts are more and more similar to their gods. I would never have guessed for Lord Jupiter to have problems speaking to women. From what I gathered, he was steadfast and fearless in all matters. Oh my goodness. Please, I'm dying. I'm dying for you to tell him. Can you imagine if he told her right now? I guess I can see Lord Jupiter being above such rumors. It surprised me to read those things in the first place.
そうなのか。
Yeah, I've never spoken with him myself, but he comes off to me as a pretty strict, serious god. The tales I read in mythology classes about Lord Jupiter almost always concerned women. It didn't add up. But the myths surrounding Cupid never seem to match up with how I am or what I do either. Maybe all myths are made up.
あ、いや、それは。
I know, the other Cupid myths are not about you.
いや、なんでもない。
Oh.
だが、創作ばかりというわけでもない。真実も含まれてはいるからな。
Really? Which ones? I curiously stared back at Peter to await his answer, but he paused with a blush.
キスをしたのに、全然平気なのだな、お前は。私は所詮、心中扱いか。
Aw, that's sad. He said chi, which was funny, but now he's like, I'm just a beast to you. What?
あ、いや、真実の話だったな。例えば、主神ジュピターやディーコンセンテスが生まれた瞬間の神話などだろうか。
When they were born, I forget. How'd it go? Just that Peter was hesitant to answer, so I waited as he pieced together a response.
一部の神々たちは始まりの神クロノスとその妻レアから生まれたのだ。つまりは家族というわけだな。全然似てはいないか。しかしクロノスは生まれてきた子らを丸飲みした。生まれし子供たちが自分を殺すと予言されたからだ。だがジュピター神だけがその難を逃れた。母であるレアが守るために身代わりの石をクロノスに飲ませたからだ。こうしてジュピターだけが人間界で暮らし、妊婦に育てられ成長していった。いつか先に飲まれた兄たちを救うために。
Oh, really? Your story matches up with the myth humans tell.
ジュピターはあの頃妊婦たちに毎日言われていたそうだ。お前もクロノスに見つかれば飲まれるぞと。それで危機察知能力に長けてしまったそうだ。主神なのにな。
Is that why you're so jumpy? You know, Peter, for a divine beast, you seem to know a lot about Lord Jupiter. Is it possible you were with him from the start?
ああ、もうずっと見ているからな。誰よりもよく知っている。
Wow, you're so much older than I am. Were you in the Trojan War? Dad's told me plenty of those stories. I leaned in closer, but Peter withdrew shyly and averted his gaze.
そんなに近づくな。抑えが効かなくなる。
What?
私は神話で描かれるジュピターのようにはなりたくない。
You don't want to be the Jupiter they talk about in those myths. Oh, come on. Be the Jupiter, as in the one who's eager to find love. Are you going to figure it out yet? His cheeks reddened so quickly that I could practically hear the blood filling them. Suddenly, Peter transformed into Chi. She started chirping fiercely, as if to dissuade me from pressing him further. Unfortunately, that was the only conjecture since I couldn't understand a word of it. Sorry, hey, why don't we finish the rest of our movies? You want to learn more about the human realm, right, Chi? Oh, come on. Like, he literally just said he doesn't want to be that Jupiter.
Chi.
Whatever. Chi sulked as he nodded. I stood up to pour myself another cup of tea and inserted the DVD. Soon as the second movie we rented began to play out, she curled up into a ball the moment another kissing scene appeared on screen. Like, I don't want to watch it. Later that night, she's gonna be asleep. I kind of hope this goes for a little bit longer because it's been pretty long and I don't want to make a 40-minute episode, but I don't want to go into a next section with it being like another 40 minutes because that's going to be a lot of editing. And I started early so I cannot go to bed at 2, but if that happens, I might have to go to bed at 2. After she went to bed, I returned to my form as Peter and watched her intently as she slept. Something about the way that kiss unfolded makes it hard to think about sleeping in the same bed with her. Part of me is floating, but another part of me has succumbed to melancholy. I became acquainted with a feeling that I had yet to see for myself as both a man and a god. This much is true.
これが恋心か。まさかこの私がキューピッドの矢で知るとはな。
I was fated as Jupiter to only know one kind of love. For ages, I've longed to know, but the idea always scared me. I've seen Apollo shot by the golden arrow, and likewise Daphne by the leaden arrow. I've also seen Cupid prick her own finger with the golden arrow and fall in love with Psyche with my own eyes.
だからキューピッドの矢を私は恐れ、憧れてきたのだが。
I found myself vexed by this newly awakened love. At the same time, I yearned to cling to this unfamiliar joy before it left me.
リネット。
I whispered her name and held her hand as she slept. She was completely vulnerable. The peace I could see in her slumber made my chest tighten. Guilt came flooding in. Was I allowed my desire to kiss her just because I'm falling for her?
彼女もまた恋を知らない。だから私の欲望に抵抗しなかった。
I had to remind myself that she was also a foreign to the ways of human love, so perhaps Cupid herself struggled just as I did. But there was 6 types of love still to learn.
その前に私が唇を奪ってしまった。彼女の留学に影響が出なければよいが。
But how am I supposed to contain my desire? Because I've fallen in love. I grazed her cheek with my fingertip ever so softly. The precious sensation sent an aching chill throughout my body.
ああ、なんとしても。
Protect her at all cost, and stop any threat that would make her disappear. To do this, I must break Juno's seal before she returns to Celestia and...
6つの愛の色彩を早く見つけなければ。
What does that mean?
しかし、反応は近くにある。3人はもうすでに揃っている。あとは残る3人を探すだけだ。
I think he's talking about the Parasite 5. Only because, like, I saw a section called the Parasite 6, so it's like... I don't know, it's like Captain Planet, you get all the members together, you do crazy stuff. I haven't watched that since I was like 7. Although, if he only senses 3, maybe that's not them, because they were all at the party. Yep, here we go. Here's the next section. Cupid, the most talented advisor. Well, I don't want to make a 40-minute video, so we're just going to keep going. The next morning... We get on the subway to head for work without saying a word to each other. Peter had been acting awkward since breakfast, and I wasn't sure how to start a conversation. He doesn't know what to do with you anymore. He's like, I just made a fool of myself last night, and now I don't know how to talk to you. We kept glancing at each other, then glancing away. Normally we'd have a casual small talk, but there was none of that today. I had a pretty good idea of why that was. It was probably because of yesterday's kiss. I didn't think too much of it while it was happening. I just thought it was something fun, but things cooled off after that, and now Peter was acting so awkward today. I was feeling kind of restless myself. And we didn't sleep in the same bed last night either. I was surprised when I woke up and saw him sleeping on the couch when I told him that he would catch a cold.
大丈夫だ。もう一部屋空いている。これからはそちらで寝ればいい。ベッドも今日の仕事帰りに買う。
Now that he sees what humans do in relationships, that he's more self-aware of you as a woman, he's like, I need to go sleep in a different bed. Funny. He actually said that to me. He didn't seem to ever mind sleeping in the same bed before. Clearly everything had changed after our kiss. Sitting next to him, I was suddenly aware of our height differences, something I never cared about before. I looked at his hands. Just then the train shook a little and our shoulders lightly touched. But that was enough to make Peter whip his head around as if he'd gotten an electric shock.
すまない。
He's gotten over the initial I'm in love with you, and now he's like fully aware of everything about you. It's fine. This is what I was hoping for. This is cute. Not that just, oh, I love you, I'll do anything for you, your wish is my command. I think he literally said that when he got hit with the arrow, so this is much better. Peter was the one shot with the golden arrow, not me. And it almost feels like I was feeling its effects too. My heart was beating so hard and fast, I was worried that other people in the train might notice it. Without saying another word, we headed into the office. Phew. As I got to my desk, I suddenly felt exhausted. Dating really is pretty tough, huh? But it's one of those things you can only experience down in the human realm, I guess. The happiness of love and the pain, I've always wanted to experience all sides of it. But I never realized just how embarrassing the whole experience could be, though.
じゃあ早速、今日からこのお客様の担当をお願いしたいんだけど。どうしたの？疲れた顔してるみたいだけど。
Oh no, fine, leave it to me. I'll take care of everything. Finally, my first client as a bridal advisor. I took the file in both hands and began reading up on the client I'd be in charge of. I was ready to combine the love psychology I learned in college with my own natural instinct as Cupid. I'm definitely going to lead my client into a happy marriage. Without using my Cupid's bow, of course, not only because Lord Jupiter banned it, but it would feel like cheating even if I could. But gods are supposed to want to use their divine artifacts, right? Weird. I guess I'm starting to think more like a human every day. Will Lord Jupiter be happy about that? The whole reason I'm here is to learn about the daily lives of humans, right? I have to assume that includes how they think, too. I thought about what Lord Jupiter might be up to back in Celestia at that moment, then got to work. He's in the same office as you. What are you going to do today, Peter? There I was, Peter Flagg, walking down the street mindlessly. They asked me to buy 4 lattes from Starbucks.
人使いの荒い人間たちだ。別にドリンクコーナーのコーヒーでいいだろうに。
Because coffee in the break room is not good. It's Starbucks coffee. I drink one every single morning. Anyway. Of course, it's because of people like them that human cuisine has come so far, so I guess I shouldn't complain so much.
しかし
I haven't been able to look her straight in the face ever since yesterday's kiss.
彼女も困っていたし、早く元に戻らなければ。だが
I know I'll want more, so I have to be careful. If I look her in the face again, I'll want to kiss her for sure.
しっかりしろ、ジュピター。彼女を守り抜くのが私の仕事だろう。
I need to focus on getting her ready to take over as Juno. That's my one and only duty. Okay, well, I'm glad that he's out of the I'm in love with you, I'm your slave to okay, now back to work.
とはいえ、5つの愛を持つ人間を見つけることができた。彼女に出会えるよう導いておいたが。
Oh, really? Is that why the Parasite 5 were there? I really hope it all works out.
それに、鉛の矢を撃ったことで、減ったはずの彼女の力が増えたようだな。金の矢を撃てば生命力を奪われるが、鉛の矢では生命力を得られるというわけか。まさか今になって判明するとは思わなかった。
Every Cupid's lifespan is a little bit different. I thought maybe it was just coincidence, but...
鉛の矢を撃てばもう少し猶予ができるというわけか。
Oh, that's not going to make her happy one bit.
だが、キューピッドの維持のためにむやみにカップルを別れさせるというのも問題だ。どうしたものか。
I thought about that as I turned the corner. Suddenly, I nearly froze in panic as I came face to face with the demon. I couldn't believe I didn't recognize him before. I've been thinking about her so much, maybe it's affecting my danger sense.
まだやり残したことがあるんだ。ここでやられるわけには。
Oh my gosh, what is wrong with you? You are Jupiter. Maybe you can't die here. I thought they said in one of the other routes that Jupiter has, like, taken care of all the demons. What was wrong with you? I spun around and prepared to escape, but he grabbed my shoulder and I suddenly couldn't move.
おいおい待てって。真珠なんかの魂は取らないよ。
A mere divine beast. Oh, wait. He doesn't know he's Jupiter, right?
真珠？
お前、彼女の真珠だろ？同じ匂いがする。
ああ、そうだが。どうやらジュピターであることまではバレていないようだな。よかった。
それより君に聞きたいことがあるんだ。最近あの子に好きだってよく言ってるよね。君 本当に彼女が好きなのか？
His eyes were cold and suspicious, but I managed to give him a confident nod.
そうだ、私は彼女に恋をしている。それはもう命を投げ出すほどにな。問題あるか？
いや、その気持ちが本当ならいいんだ。本当はあの子には人間と付き合ってほしいんだけどさ。まあそれならいいや。
Yep, you can't take your arrow now. With that, he turned to leave. Now it's my turn to stop him.
待て、私の方も質問がある。アラン・メルビル、お前は彼女の片割れの天使だろう。
When he heard that, he stared hard into my eyes.
なんだそれを。
私は彼女よりも長年生きている神獣だ。この身にろくな力はないが、それぐらい知っている。それより、お前が対の天使ならば聞きたい。お前は彼女を大切に思っているのか？
Of course he does. Oh, poor Allan.
ああ、大切に思っているよ。この世の何よりもね。だからこそ主神ジュピターが許せない。
Although his voice has dropped to a mere whisper, he seemed to reverberate with a cold echo. His disdain and hatred for me was obvious. His voice alone was enough to strike fear into my soul.
なぜそこまで？
あいつらはあの子を消滅するまで使い倒す気だ。そんなこと絶対にさせない。俺はあの子を消滅から守りたいんだ。
Well, B.A. Peter has its perks, right? You could talk to him and figure out what he wants without him suspecting you.
天使たちを神にして消滅まで真実を伝えずにこき使うような奴らは絶対に許せない。
Maybe you guys can work together now.
そうだな。神獣である私にはお前の気持ちが痛いほどわかる。だが、ならばどうすればいい？
It was a question I held inside of me for a long time, and now here I was voicing it to an actual demon. Gods require offerings and sacrifices. That wasn't exactly true, but the way we used the angels of Elysium to turn into gods certainly gave that impression. There can never be peace without sacrifice, not that I feel great about using that as a justification, but there's no way to make gods, angels, humans, and demons all happy. People call me the almighty god of gods, but so often I feel completely useless.
私も天使らを消滅などさせたくはない。主神もそう考えている。だが、それでは人を守りきれないのだ。現に今、世界規模で見ると結婚率が著しく下がっている。ジュノーが仕事をしておらず、キューピッドが留学しているからだ。神などいなくてもいい。そう言えればどれだけ良かったか。だが、なるべく消滅させぬよう力を尽くすつもりだ。そして、お前の対の天使は絶対に守る。だから、私に協力してくれないか。
協力？
そもそも私は、彼女を守るために深海からついてきた。ジュピターがそれを望んだのだ。それに、一つ誤解しているが、主神ジュピターは彼女を消滅させる気などない。むしろ逆だ。消滅から守るために人間界へ留学させた。人間界へ行き、人の営みを知り、6つの愛を知れば、受脳神に昇格できる。受脳神になれば、消滅せずに済むだろう。
は？ジュノーに昇格？そんなことができるのか？
主神ジュピターにならな。そして彼はそうするつもりだ。どうだ、そこまで聞いてなお主神を恨む気か？
After listening to what he had to say, he just stood there in silence. He still looked pretty suspicious. So I went on.
それと彼女を人間界に留学させたのには最近深海の誰かがキューピッドを狙っている気配がしたからなんだ。
狙う？
実は前代のキューピッドは誰かに消滅させられたんだ。それからずっとキューピッドを見守っている。
I've been keeping an eye on her as Jupiter.
おかげで直接の接触は図れていないようだが、ずっとキューピッドを付け狙っている気配だけはある。だからそれが誰か調べてはいるのだが、結局まだ誰だか突き止められていない。
Allan knows who it is.
深海では他の神を消滅させたとしても罪だと認められないため、誰の協力も得られないからだ。
は？消滅しているのにその犯人探しができないって、罪はないっていうのか？
ああ、深海において神に罪はない。どれほど残虐な行為をしようと主神は神たちを罰することができないんだ。そもそも悪いこととして認識されていないからな。
Whatever the Dicostans do, it is the will of heaven, and even for lower gods, nobody is in a position to accuse them of anything. Even the almighty Lord Jupiter. I don't know. I feel like the God of Gods should have some say in it.
これだから神は嫌いなんだ。あいつらは身勝手に天使たちの尊厳を奪う。だから俺は。
アラン、聞いてくれ。ジュピターはそのあり方を変えたいと考えているんだ。本当ならばお前たちを引き裂きたくなかった。だが神の使者を担うマーキュリーの選定は主神の決定よりも重い。たとえ対の天使をそのままにしておきたくともできなかったのだ。すまない。
なんであんたが謝るんだ？
Come on. Allan's got to at least pick up on it, right? I mean, Lynette may be clueless, but Allan's not, right?
それは私は本当はジュピターの神獣だからだ。
あの子の神獣じゃないのか？
ああ、だが私を敵視しないでほしい。私はキューピッドを守りたい。そして前代のキューピッドを消滅させたものを罰したいのだ。
You keep saying I want to punish them, like a divine beast could do anything.
だからアラン、私と共に戦わないか。彼女を消滅から敵から守るために。
I put up my hand and Allan was suddenly flustered.
悪魔と手を組むなんて本気か？
He is
君は
Jupiter.
ジュピターの神獣だろう。怒られないのか？
Come on, say it. Do it.
深海に悪魔と組んではならぬという決まりはない。神を罰せないような場所だからな。
I held his gaze, silently demanding an answer.
その話信じていいのか？
I know, right? Who would believe you if you were Jupiter?
ああ、キューピッドにかけて誓う。愛する彼女を私も消滅などさせたくはない。
まあ俺だけじゃ手詰まりだったしな。ジュピターの神獣と手を組んだ方がいいか。こいつはあの子に恋をしているみたいだしな。オーケー、いいよ、手を組もう。そもそも俺が恨むべきはキューピッドの選定をしたマーキュリーって神みたいだしな。
神は恨んでほしくはないが、それはさすがに無理か。打点しているのだからな。それで前代のキューピッドを消滅させた神に思い当たる者はいないか？そのせいで今のキューピッドが選定されたようなものだ。裏を返せばお前たちを引き裂く原因を作った神だ。前代のキューピッドを消滅させた神は消滅では矢が手に入らないと知り、ジュピターの新規目視録を読んだようだ。
You sure know an awful lot for a divine beast.
そこでキューピッドから矢を奪う方法を見つけた。そのような話をする神を見たことはないか？
Minerva's like, you really don't want Cupid's bow. Allan was completely silent and had a severe look on his face. He thought for a moment, then spoke.
その神の顔はわかる。だが名は知らない。俺のような悪魔の前では名乗らないんだ。でも特徴なら言えるよ。その神は手袋をしている。キューピッドの矢を掴んでできた火傷を隠してるって言っていたからな。
And a cowboy hat.
手袋。
Thinking about it, I'd never seen Venus wear gloves, nor Mars, Mercury, or Ceres. But I did recall seeing one particular goddess wearing gloves. The goddess of war and wisdom, Minerva. It has to be her.
まさか。もしそうだとすると厄介だ。
Due to her title, Minerva is extremely intelligent, as she's well versed in all kinds of technology and trickery. She snuck her way into the human realm time and time again. No normal goddess capable of cloaking the presence of a divine artifact. She's not quite as strong as Mars, but I can't count how many times she's personally fooled me with her cunning nature. I know, she cloaked Cupid's bow whenever she set her down in like the first group.
だが、あいつならば、新化目視録を読むための細工ぐらいいくらでも作れるだろうな。やはり、というべきかもしれぬ。そうか、情報助かる。必ずや、彼女をその神から守ってみせよ
う。ああ、頼むよ。俺の願いは、彼女を消滅から守ることだ。それさえできるなら、神を殺したっていい。
His face was full of grim determination. It was immediately obvious that he meant what he said.
あれほど二人はお互いを思い合っていたからな。彼が彼女を害するはずはない。
I was fully convinced that I could trust him.
ではアラン、もう一つ聞きたいのだが、最近悪魔界で不穏な動きはないか？
悪魔界で？そうだな。最近妙な気配がするよ。サタンも嫌な風が吹くと言っていた。
妙な気配？
サタンとよく似てるんだが、少し違うんだ。それと19年前から下級悪魔が騒がしくなった。何でも仲間が行方不明になってるんだとさ。
19年前。ジュノーが行方不明になった頃と同じだな。
If a god went to hell, Satan won't let that slide. I don't want to believe it. It's very disquieting.
そういえば、最近冥界の神プルートとは連絡を取っていないな。
The underworld is directly above hell, but actually the border between the two worlds disappeared several years ago. I remember receiving an oddly unconcerned letter pointing out that the two worlds were pretty similar to begin with.
悪魔界か。どこかで調べた方が良さそうだ。だが。
To be honest, the idea of going down there terrifies me. Demons don't have a lot of love for Gus to begin with, and I've personally made quite a few of them disappear myself. I know, so why are you scared of Allan? If anyone down there found out I'm Jupiter, they chop me into pieces. Maybe I should ask Ellen to look into it for me.
とにかく、深海でも悪魔界でも異変があるのは確かなようだな。情報交換をし、状況を把握していくとしよう。私は引き続き、彼女のそばにいて彼女を守る。それでいいか？
ああ、もちろんさ。深海の神獣が守ってくれるなら、これ以上ありがたいことはないからね。
Alan's face suddenly became soft and kind. Maybe he was thinking about her. Those two really are a pair. He cares about her both like close family and like a lover. I recalled the pain I felt when I pulled them apart and etched that sin into my heart. Aww. Poor guy. I could hardly sleep that night. I just kept on tossing and turning. I hate that I can't have Chi around anymore. If I could just bury my face into that fluffy hair of his, I'd be asleep in an instant. But she was actually Peter, and ever since he fell in love with me, he's just shut himself in his room every day. So I've been sleeping in my bed all alone, and it's making me feel restless. It was like I had an emptiness in my soul, like a cold spot. I'm never going to fall asleep. I let out a long sigh, then got out of bed and headed to the living room. Just go crawl up in his bed. As I walked in, Peter and I locked eyes. I guess he couldn't sleep either. He was drinking something from his mug. Oh,
私はもう眠るから大丈夫だ。ゆっくりくつろいでくれ。
Peter shot up and practically ran back to his room. After he closed the door, I felt that cold sensation again. Now we're going to just avoid each other the whole rest of the route. It's so annoying. Just as annoying as the first part. Sat down in the chair and looked at the mug Peter had left behind. It was a glass of warm milk. It was only half drunk. He really didn't have to go back to his room like that. He could have sat here with me. I quietly drank the milk that was still left. So warm. The milk he'd just been drinking a few seconds ago, warm, sweet, and extremely relaxing. The flavor was so gentle. Peter running away from me made my heart ache. It left me feeling so lonely. Lonely. Finally, I realized the emotion I had been feeling. I put my hand to my chest. Loneliness. I see, so that's what this feels like. I wanted to fall asleep hugging Chi, but I couldn't. I wanted to drink warm milk with Peter, but he was back in his room. So that's why I feel lonely. I just want everything to go back to the way it was. Can't we? Can things really go back to normal after the Cupid's bow effect wears off? What if he loses all interest in me? What if he leaves me all alone? I took another sip of the milk. I thought about how much I wanted to avoid that. The warm milk suddenly went cold and the sweetness turned sour. After I ran away from her, I closed the door to my room and sat down feeling pathetic. You should feel
ダメだ。
pathetic.
全然彼女の顔が見られぬ。
As soon as I do, my heart begins to race and the urge to kiss her comes flooding back in. Just do it. What are you waiting for? I'm sure if I kept looking, I'd want to do even more than that. So all I could do was jump up and run away like a coward.
好きだ。
She was so important to me. My heart started to hurt. I crouched down in front of my door all alone.
キスをしたい。噛みたい。
I want to bite her. The last thought was a surprise, but I had a pretty good idea of what kind of desire it represented. Oh, really? But I can't admit that to myself. I decided a long time ago not to look at the other gods like that. I flopped down on the bed and desperately looked for a way to endure my desire. Should I take care of this stress myself? But I tended to avoid that sort of thing too. Do gods really feel the need to do that? I mean, you're not human, so it's a legit question, right? That was something my older brother would do, and I didn't want to be like him.
感情とは本当に難しい。
So I think when he said he doesn't want to look at the other gods like that, I think he is meaning lust. He doesn't want to look lustfully at them. He's legitly in love, right? So it's not lust, it's real. But whatever. I bit the back of my hand, putting all my effort into relieving my desire that way. Goodness. But I knew this passion would come flooding back as soon as I saw her again. I really wanted to go back to talking to her like usual, but I knew I couldn't. Ever since everything happened, I've been focused on matchmaking for as many clients as possible. The literal Cupid acting as a love advisor in a human body. It's not as exciting as firing off arrows, but nobody could match my passion and dedication. Plus,
大変大変。あなたの今月の成婚率まだ半月なのに歴代ナンバーワンですって。
what? The paper was sitting here right in front of me. I couldn't hide my surprise. The graph showed marriages from every advisor, and my bar was higher than anyone else's.
こんな成績のいい子見たことないわ。伝説の新人ってことね。
あなたインターンだけじゃなくてうちに入社しなさいよ。絶対社長も気に入るわ。
確かにそれがいいわ。この勢いでうちの業績上がったら私たちのボーナスも増えちゃう。
All of the advisors gathered around me, gushing about the graph. The highest in history, huh? Looking at my bar stretching across the paper, I couldn't help but smile. Needless to say, I was really happy. I'm glad I've been able to support so many couples. Thanks everyone. I'll do my best to keep blazing through the clients and match as many as I can in the time I have left.
頼もしいこと期待してるわ。
Okay.
スターバッカスのラテを買ってきたぞ。何かあったのか？
聞いてよ。あなたの彼女すごい成績を叩き出したのよ。
お、そうなのか。それはすごいな。
Peter's face lit up and he put his arms around my waist. Then without warning, he suddenly lifted me up into the air. Wow.
おめでとうリネット。すごい。お前はすごいな。これだけ縁結びをするとは、やはりお前は伝説のキューピッドだ。
Come on, it's a little embarrassing doing this in front of everyone.
Hmm?
He just suddenly realized what he was doing and looked around.
あら、私たちのことは気にしないでやっててちょうだい。
すまん。みんなの前で寝具も使ってないのにと思ったらつい感動してしまって。
He put me down, looking embarrassed. Seeing his dreamy, extremely Peter-like face, I burst out laughing. It's okay, thank you, Peter. We just looked at each other and smiled. Obviously, nobody but us would understand the reference to a divine artifact. In that moment, I was happy to smile at him like two friends sharing a secret. Things were pretty awkward when he decided to sleep in the other room, but it felt like things were getting back to normal. Well, just for today. When you go back home, it's gonna be back to the same. Okay, I have to make sure to do my best again today. Now that I've broken the company record, I wanted to break the national record or even the entire world record. Aren't you ambitious? After all, I was the real Cupid. Celestia doesn't have a Cupid right now, so at least I can work hard to match together people here in the human realm. I continued to pretend to be a human and did my best to bring people together. And then one day... "4 p.m. my desk. Great, these two seem to be doing well. They're planning to go on another date, and I'm sure there'll be a couple soon. Then I'll interview both of them again to make sure everything keeps going smoothly. Then after that... Uh-oh. I thought I heard someone call my name, so I quickly raised my head, but there was nobody there. Did I just imagine that? I looked down at my paperwork. Huh? An email? Who could it be from? Mr. Stale. Tomorrow, 5 p.m. in the evening. Usually he'd want to see you at bright and early 5 in the morning.
どうしたの？
What? Oh, no, it's nothing. I quickly waved her away and tried to play it off, but... This is the first time Mr. Stale has ever gotten in touch with me. What could he want with me? Promotion. I thought about everything I'd done lately. I couldn't think of anything I'd be in trouble for, except for that. I have that one top secret, something I can't tell anyone, and that nobody would believe me even if I did. That secret, of course, me being that I'm Cupid. But there's no way he can know that, right?
Chi?
Peter flew over me in his chi form. Peter had been staying in his chi form and sticking close to me quite a lot lately. Well, this form does make things less awkward, so... I was worried he might be ignoring his work too much, but it seemed like nobody really noticed he wasn't around. Probably because he's not very good. Maybe he has some special divine beast powers that he was using to cloud their minds. Or maybe not, now that he's about to get fired. Oh, but if that was it, the president would have contacted him, not me. She thought he was going to fire him. I tilted my head. The last time I'd seen Mr. Snail was at my employment orientation, not even a peep since then. He's probably going to offer you the Parasite 5. Hmm? Jeez, I'm really nervous. I really hope he hasn't found out that I'm Cupid. Then 5 p.m. the following day. It's just now greeted me as soon as I walked into his office. Oh look. I recognize this CG. It's like the very first one we got. Oh, it's no trouble. So, what can I do for you?
我が社にはパラサイト5という厄介会員がいるのは知っているか
I knew it. We want you to handle them. Oh yes, I've heard a bit about them here and there.
そうかインターンのお前でも知っているかこれがそのパラサイト5の会員プロフィールなんだが見てもらえるか
Let's see. It's just now handing me their paperwork and I took a look. Wait, what? This says Gil Lovecraft. She's just not gonna find out who they all are. Huh. I wonder if it's the same. It probably is. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's the same, so I don't have to read it. I remember seeing him at the matchmaking party, but I had no idea he was part of the Parasite 5. Which parasite could he be? Maybe the obsessed parasite? I know that he's super into cars. Yeah, but that's about mythology. I took a look at the other profiles. Ral Aconite. Oh, that's the actor. I saw him at that party too.
ああ彼はただ稽古で来ているだけだそうだ
Oh, I see. It says address secret. My agent told me not to say. Sign the goat one. That's cute. Yuki F. Keisayan. Yeah, I know him too. I remember him going on about some weird rating system. Allan Melville. Wait, Professor Melville. And... I knew it. It wasn't going to say his name. I thought maybe it would say his name, but no. Huh? Looking at the last profile, I tilted my head in confusion. The entire profile had been dutifully filled out in neat type, everything except one thing. Mr. Snail, who is this? I don't see his name anywhere.
担当直入に言おう
Are you though?
そのプロフィールチーパラサイトと呼ばれているのは私なんだ
Yes, that makes me excited. It's you? Huh? I'm sorry, could you repeat that? I must have misheard you.
そのプロフィールシートは私のものだつまり私はチーパラサイトなのだ
But that would mean...
ああ私は未婚者で婚活中なんだ
Well, there you go. I was stunned by the sudden confession. Mr. Snail isn't married, but the entire reputation is built around being a CEO that's devoted to his wife. Are you serious right now?
なあ実はただの勘違いから始まったんだだが番組内でうまく撤回できなくてなその結果広告代理店の担当者が愛妻家社長として売り出してしまっただが私は人々を欺きたくはない
Oh, that makes me happy though. He doesn't want to lie in this one. He wants to be true to everyone and to himself.
だからなんとか撤回したいと思い先日コメンテーターのジェームズ氏に相談したところこんな企画書を提案してもらってな
It's just now took out another sheet of paper. The title at the top said The Parasite 5 on the Hunt, Bad Boys Looking for Love. This is
ジェームズ氏に私がパラサイト5などと呼ばれていると相談したんだ。そうしたらむしろそれで番組を作ろうと言われてな。
Are we really going to have like the Parasite house and all that too?
婚活をしていたものの失敗続きで言えなかったと打ち明ければ情けない話ではあるが、反感は買いづらいはずだとな。試しに他のパラサイト5たちに相談してみたところ、皆乗り気でな、やってみたいと言ってもらった。ラウル氏のマネージャーもテレビ出演は良いプロモーションになると大賛成だった。なので訳あり婚活男子たちがテレビで婚活するという番組にしたいとのことで、アドバイザーに司会進行役を頼もうと思ったのだが、うちのアドバイザーたちに聞いたところ、パラサイト5には関わりたくないと全員に断られたんだ。
It's just now let out a huge sigh.
なんでも私を含めパラサイト5は問題ばかりで、アドバイザーが全員無理だと判断した会員だというのだ。そもそも話すら成立しないだろうと。
They're really that much trouble? Even Gil and Professor Melville and...
私自身はそんなに問題ある会員だった自覚がなかったのだがまあオーウェンに代理を任せていたからな。
Hey, you mean Mr. Harriet, your secretary?
なあ、全てのデート連絡をオーウェンに代行してもらっていた。
You can't think of 80 problems that you caused with that? Obviously that was destined to fail.
オーウェンといえば最近彼に恋人ができたのはお前のおかげだそうだな。
Oh, they became a couple, huh?
ああ、お前の後押しのおかげで逃げずに告白できたと喜んでいた。彼に代わって礼を言う。
I'm glad to hear that at least. I made a mental note to congratulate him the next time I saw him. I was really happy they managed to get together.
それに最近目覚ましい成果を上げていると聞いた。一月の成婚率が歴代1位だそうだな。正直聞いた時に驚いた。こんなインターンシップ生は初めてだ。だからお前にならこの企画をパラサイト5を頼めるのではと思ってな。私自身あの発言を撤回するのにまだ及び腰になっている。だからお前の後押しが欲しい。
It just now gave me a long look. I could tell this was really bothering him, so I nodded my agreement. You can leave it to me. I'm sure I can do it.
そうか、助かる。ならばすぐに来てくれ。もう集めてあるんだ。
Wait, what? Meeting time. As I entered the workshop suite with Mr. Snow, I was first greeted by Gil's surprised face, then some kind of spray. What the?
乾燥ひどすぎ。保湿ミストぐらい常備すればいいのに。
I forgot he even did that. For you.
ああ、
Case 1, Case 4, Case question mark. Oh my goodness.
おいお前、アラン・メルビルだな。この野郎、よくも俺の彼女を略奪しやがって。
いや、あれは合意の上だよ。それに略奪だなんて人聞き悪い。シェアだって言ったじゃないか。
Case 5. What?
へえ、あの木ユグドラシルに似てる。ああ、でもここで言うユグドラシルは北欧神話のあれじゃなくて。
And case number 3. ... Good luck, Lynette. All I could do in that chaos was scream. That's how my Parasite 5 intern challenge began. Yep. Good luck. I wonder if they all get their happy ending in this one. That would be fun. Yay, next section. I almost said next route. The annoying Parasite 6. See, I knew one of them was titled that. Anyway. that is definitely where we're going to leave off. So now we're dealing with Parasite 6. Hopefully it goes a little bit different than the common route, because obviously we've already read the common route, so we need something different to be interesting. And hopefully something works out with Peter, because he went from completely obsessed with her and was like hanging on her every word to being okay, and they could talk and have normal conversations, and he was going back to being his protective Jupiter self, to now he can't look at her without wanting to sleep with her. So I don't know what he's going to do. He's got to figure something out. He's got to control himself. Anyway, if you guys did enjoy, drop a thumbs up down below and or subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.